Are we live? It looks like it. Looks like it. Or is the timer going? Are we live? It appears that we are live. Okay. We're live on. Okay, we're live on both platforms. And I think it's time. From the WDWL TV Multiplex, live from the Blue and Gold studio and home of the golden microphone, we bring you the pride of the station, the grumpy old man, and, oh, the grumpy vulture. Would you like to take a bow? Take your bow. Take a bow. Get the banner. Oh, that's good. Get the banner right up there. Yeah, there we go. Good bow. Good bow. Yeah. Bring the banner back up. All right. You only have to wear this for 10 more years. All right, back in your spotlight. Look at the camera. Oh, Jesus. Let me move this out of the way. Hey, Kathy, how are you tonight? I actually found a shock mount that fits the golden microphone. I didn't think I had one. I've got a shitload of these shock mounts. So now it's mounted upside down. Although you can see that this little dipsy doodle here, it's amazing. This little thing produces 48 volts to power this microphone. That little tiny thing, it's amazing. I can't believe it. That little, it takes 5 volts USB in, converts it to 48 volts to power that microphone. Which I'm glad, because I'm able to use the golden microphone on USB. That's another thing it does. It converts it from XLR to USB. And then the blue wire is my headphones. But yeah, it's a nice shock mount. Brand new. First time using it. What the? Oh. Every time a box pops up, and it just said, you're at optimal YouTube performance. First time I ever saw that. Now watch. I'll freeze up for 2 minutes. That warning the other night, telling me that there was, all kinds of technical problems. I wish I had, and I wish I had the intelligence to operate some of these streaming softwares that everybody uses. I download them, I look at them, I'm like, I can't, like StreamYard or Restream, all these YouTubers use it, and I can't figure it out. Now I got an itch in the middle of my fucking back. I hate that. And it's right in an area I can't reach. Today, talk about impatient. Now, yesterday, I told Marianne I would have no problem backing that van out of the driveway. I go over at 11 o'clock. The pad next to the driveway is completely clear, and the van is turned around facing towards the street. I said to her, "Oh, it's obvious you didn't trust me backing the van out, huh?" "Well, I looked at my watch. It was 11 o'clock. You weren't here." I got over there like 11:05. I was actually standing out front admiring my next door neighbor's brand new $400,000 tow truck. He owns a big towing service here in Cleveland. 400 grand for this tow truck. I remember back in the day when I was working for a towing company, like 60 grand bought you a truck like the one I was looking at. He said $422,000 for that truck. I was like, holy shit. And he has a shitload of equipment. Evidently, he is making big bucks, or his company. I would hate to think of what his mortgage payments are on all the equipment. He brought one home last fall. $675,000 for a tow truck. Although it was a big tow truck. Big. I was watching a YouTube video, towing company out in California. Some of their although these trucks are like goddamn mobile cranes, more like tow trucks, they're almost $1 million. And they've got like 10 of them. I think they said they've got 50 trucks total in their fleet. I was like, Jesus. So we load the mower in the back of the truck, in the van, and I go right out the driveway. And Marianne's like, "Oh, you only got 4 inches over here." I said, "Marianne, 4 inches is like 4 feet. Don't worry about it." So we get out the driveway, pop the mirrors out. We head up to the hardware store / mower repair shop to drop off the mower. So we pull in the back. She goes in, talks to somebody, and she comes out and goes, "Oh, they said bring it right in. They possibly could fix it while we wait." Okay. We unload the mower out of the back of the van. I push it in the store. The guy says, okay, put it over here. Out comes the guy that does the actual repair. He looks at the mower, and evidently the gentleman that Marianne talked to said, this is the mower I was just talking to you about. Mr. Mower Repairman goes, what? I ain't fixing it right now. Take her name, get her number, put a tag on it, push it in the back, and I'll get to it when I can get to it. So Marianne gives all her information. We get in the van to head home, and I said, I'd have never left my mower for him to fix. Jesus Christ, the attitude. And Marianne was like, well, it obviously sounded like he was busy. Whether he is busy or not, you don't come out with that. I was ready to load it back in the goddamn van. Marianne was like, we'll leave it, no problem. Talk about poor, piss poor attitude. Although, unfortunately, they've kind of got the market cornered on mower repair because there's hardly any repair shops anymore. But to have an attitude like that, not to mention, he looked like he slept in a dumpster. Everybody else in the store, neatly dressed. He comes out of the back, looks like he rolled in a service garage grease pit. And an attitude. If it would have been my mower, I'd have said, you know what? I'll take it somewhere else. It's obviously to the point where you are way too busy and you don't want my money. So I will find a repair shop that wants my money. And that's the way I would have left after calling him an asshole. I would have added that for good measure. Just to come out and just give poor Marianne fucking attitude. And then she goes, well, it's obvious he's busy. I don't care if he's got 1,000 mowers to repair. You don't treat a customer like that. It didn't bother her. It bothered the shit out of me. So, when the mower is fixed, now, here's what it needs. What happened was the handle for the starter rope somehow fell off. And the rope went into the recoil starter. All they need to do is get that rope out, attach it to a new handle, and that's it. That's all she wants repaired. What I'm going to do when we go to pick it up, I'm going to tell Fatso, can you start it 3 or 4 times to make sure the mower works? I just want to see him huff and puff. Of course, Marianne will probably say, no, we don't need to do that. It's got a pull handle now. If the recoil unit wouldn't have been riveted to the top of the mower, I would have taken it off, gone in with a long pair of tweezers, and pulled the rope back and tied it to a stick until she could go up to the hardware store and get a rubber handle. But I couldn't. It's riveted, and I didn't have any pop rivets. Otherwise, I would have drilled them out, got the starter rope out of the recoil unit, and then pop riveted it back together. But I didn't have any. They were pretty good sized pop rivets. I know I don't have any of them. But the guy that come out and I would I would have said, okay, you don't want my money. I'll take it somewhere else. Thank you, asshole. Have to get that asshole in there. Although I'll tell you what, I did enjoy driving that Ford Transit van. Nice unit. Very nice. Got great pickup. Super steering. God, I could turn that thing with one little finger. I don't have $12,000. Yeah, Marianne says, oh, if you like it that much, I'll sell it to you. 12 grand. I said, Marianne, if I had 12 grand, there would be 2 Japanese mini trucks in my driveway. Maybe 3. Or a Japanese mini truck and a Japanese minivan. Oh, you ought to see the minivans. Oh, my God. They're hilarious. They look like Tonka trucks. They up at the place that sells the Japanese mini trucks up on Lorraine Road, they've got one. I'm trying to figure out what to compare it to. Because all the goddamn minivans are so big now. Do you remember the Astro vans? The Chevy Astro vans? They were on the smaller side. Because vans are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Or, even better yet, remember the first Chrysler minivan? Because Chrysler was the first one. All right, take that Chrysler minivan and cut it in half. That's how big Japanese minivans are. They're like half the size of the K-car vans. I would love to have one of them. It looks like something you'd see in a circus. You know, it would pull into the ring and 47 clowns would get out of it. So if I had 12 grand, there would be a Japanese mini truck, and right next to it in the driveway would be a minivan. Or they make a mini sports car that has gull wing doors, like a DeLorean. Oh, I'd love to have one of them. Now that a lot of the stuff is, 25 years old, they're starting to they're importing those things like crazy. Because, first of all, you don't need any inspections. Being 25 years old, it don't need an inspection. Not to mention, they're tiny, they're cute, and they're not that expensive. Believe me, I'm still working on it. One day there might be a Japanese mini truck in my driveway. I'm working the angles. Right now, the angle I'm working is waiting for Jim's son to let me know what's going on with the Passat. Now, I know it's got to go through probate and all the bullshit. Like I told them in the letter, if we agree on a price, let me have the unit. I'll give you half down. It'll be in my driveway. It's not going anywhere. I would just like to start working on it. And figuring out where I'm going to put all my LED emergency lights. Oh, I'm going to lay that thing out. I'm thinking of making it like an undercover car. And then flip the switch and 9,000 LEDs come on. Oh, what's this? Oh, the volume control for the headset. Oh, it does work. I got a vulture in my throat. I don't. Jim only has the one son. And if he's got kids, they would all be young. Well, I think Jim's son is late 30s, maybe early 40s. But I'm sure nobody's interested in all this old crap that he's collected. Not to mention, I've heard from several people that Jim is a bit of a hoarder. And the house is well stocked. We'll just say that. Well, it's obvious. He's got the Porsche and the Passat here. And then at his second house, he's got 8 cars over there. And none of them really are 100%. And I can guarantee his son just wants to off all this stuff. I don't think I'm going to get much of an argument over the price that I'm going to offer him for that. Because I'm going to tell him, I might end up having to junk it myself. If there's too much wrong with it, because like I say, it's actually an Audi A4. And Audis are a pain in the ass to work on. Parts are expensive. So, and definitely, I know the Porsche is going to go to the boneyard. I know that. I can't see anybody wanting that car. It's sad. Oh. As much as I would love to have it, although I'd hate to think what it would cost me to insure, even being 25 years old. I could see me on the phone with Progressive. I'd like to insure a car. Why, sure, Mr. Grumpy. We'll add a third car to your policy. What is it? It's a Porsche. Whoa! They'll be yelling across the office, Grumpy's got a Porsche. It's a 25-year-old Porsche. Give me a break. I have been a loyal Progressive customer for 25 years. Matter of fact, when I call, that's usually the first thing out of the reps' mouths. They're like, wow, you've been with us for 25 years. Yeah, and you guys have treated me wonderful over the years. Why would I go somewhere else? And then what I like, I am considered a diamond member. Now, up last year, I was an emerald member. Now that I've hit 25 years, I'm a diamond member. I've never paid much attention to what it gets me, except when I call in, I am immediately the next call they answer. I feel sorry for the guy that's been on hold for half an hour, figuring, okay, I'm next. Huh? Oh, yeah, as soon as I call, instantaneous. Thank you for calling Progressive, Mr. Grumpy, diamond member. Yeah, okay. Do I get a diamond? No. Oh, well, it would be nice if they gave you one. Here, you're a diamond member. Oh, a diamond for my ear. Goody. Yeah, I can't wear the ear studs with the headphones because the pokes right into the side of my head. I'm like, wow. Oh, I got a bunch of them. I was really considering having this ear done because now that's kind of the thing. You don't get one ear pierced, you get them both. So I was considering getting the other ear done. I don't know if I will or not. Although it was interesting. The girl said, okay, pick out what stud you want. And I had gotten, imitation diamond, cubic zirconium. I got one that was seeable. I wanted it to be seen. So she comes up with this goofy instrument, and she said, now hold still, and next thing, oh, she shot that son of a bitch right into my ear. Yeah, it was. Whoa! Then she put the backing on, and she put it on too tight. And by the time I got home, my earlobe was starting to swell. My sister was like, oh, we got to loosen that. And you got them all the way up? When it gets in the cartilage, don't that hurt like hell? I see a lot of girls, they'll have 7, 8, 9. When it gets into the cartilage, that's gotta hurt like shit. Now I hope in your nose you don't have a bull ring. I hate them girls that have that horseshoe. Now the one that, goes right through the side of the nose, those are attractive. The girls that have the freaking bar through their nose or a horseshoe, or I'd like to grab them by that one. Come here. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the cutie cashier up at Mark's, she's got a little tiny one in the side of her nose. It's just big enough where you could see it. But some girls, God, they got a rock, or they got that bar through their nose. Some go a little far with the piercings. And the one in the tongue, my buddy's granddaughter's got one in the tongue. Now, in the tongue, that's got to fucking hurt. I don't care. But and then a stupid place to get. Of course, I'm showing my age. But yeah, I've seen girls that have 7, 8, 9, 10, 40. I'm like, God, that's gotta hurt going in the cartilage. Jeez. And then the ones that get me is the ones that have them up here. In the fucking eyebrow. Some of them are stupid. Especially that one in the nose. God, there was a girl on TV the other night. She had studs here and a ring in her nose, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I mean, big silver balls here. And then here and here, and the horseshoe in her nose, and the up here. Yeah. But I'm really thinking about getting the other ear done. Although the place that did mine is no longer in business. Although, what do I need 2 earrings for? One's enough. I remember when I got mine done. And the saying was, left is right, right is wrong. Because if you had one in the right ear, it meant that you had a limp wrist, you know. Hi there. I'll never forget the day we went and got it done. Now, my brother-in-law had one, and then unbeknownst to me, for my son's 16th birthday, he took him out and got the ear done. So we were sitting around the kitchen having coffee a Sunday morning, and he says, I got to run up to the mall. Come on with me. Okay. So we're going through the mall, and we end up in this piercing shop. And I'm waiting, and he's not getting nothing done. Next thing I know, the girl says, come on back, sir. That's when my brother-in-law said, you're getting yours done. I said, oh, no. He said, I'm paying for it. Oh, okay. As long as I don't have to pay. So we all had matching ears. My brother-in-law, my kid, me. As long as somebody else paid for it, it was fine with me, because I wouldn't have paid for it. I didn't need it done that bad. I've got a whole assortment of let's see, this one's kind of my favorite. That one's kind of my favorite. Looks like it's got lots of diamonds in it. And then the gaudy one. The emerald. The gaudy one. Every now and then I wear the gaudy one. And the smaller square one. The smaller one. I got a shitload of others. These are the 3 I mainly use. Although I'll tell you, I went for about 3 months without wearing one. And I'll tell you what, I had a tough time at the end of 3 months getting one back in the ear. So I wore one like 24 hours a day for quite a while. Matter of fact, Marianne, she gave me a circular one, and she said spin it several times a day. And basically, it went from small to large. It enlarged. It opened it back up again. I figured, hey, after the shit I went through to get it done, I ain't letting it close up. But I got a bunch of stupid shit. Let me. Is it here? Maybe. Hang on. Let me look. See if it's in here. Oh, yeah, it is. I got this one. It goes this way. And then you stick it in the ear, and then you put this. And it ends up looking this way. The goth look. Oh, I don't have the... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I got this one too. I have a seeing ear. I can see you with my ear. I don't wear that too often. Oh, where's the other one? Oh, well, I got this eyeball. Oh, it's not in here. I have a spider. A black, ugly spider. Every now and then I wear that one. Looks like a tarantula in my ear. No, it's not in here. I'll have to find it. The spider. I'll tell you what, when I wear that one, people notice. They're like, whoa, you got a spider crawling on your ear. No, it's an earring. Although that sword looks kind of cool. That one gets a lot of compliments. Like, oh, I like that stuff. Oh, where'd you get it? Temu. But the spider, I gotta find the spider. I haven't worn it in ages, so I'm trying to think where the hell it might be. Might be in the box in my dresser. I'll have to look. I bought it for Halloween. But every now and then I'll wear it. At 73 years old, wear a fucking spider in your ear. But I like the eyeball. I have a seeing ear. It's amazing. Most of them don't even get noticed. The spider, the sword, and the eyeball, those get noticed. But some of these young kids just go berserk with piercings. Oh, Jesus. I don't understand what goes through their mind. They think that looks attractive. Have, bone in the nose and you look like you got a sheet metal factory on your face. Not my face. I just... If I saw a really attractive girl and she turned around and had a face full of sheet metal, I would go the other way. I'd be walking up to her from behind going, oh, this could be a possibility, Then she turns around and got Godzilla's face on her. No, thank you. Yeah, well, they're getting attention, all right. There would be no way I would bring a girl like that home to my parents. Now, back in my day, girls had, pierced ears. Today, I could see bringing somebody home with a face full of sheet metal and my father going, get rid of her or I'll kick your ass. I might kick your ass anyway, How can they take something like that home? I want you to meet my girlfriend. Hey, look who's here. Sherry's here. How are you, dear? Oh, now you gave it away. No one knew what my name was. Now you gave it away. That's all right. Sooner or later, it was going to sneak out anyway. I'll forgive you. How you feeling, sweetheart? You doing all right? Good, good. Long as you're feeling okay. Glad to hear it. Good to see you. Glad you popped in. That's all right. I forgive you. No problem. No big deal. It's somewhere. I think it's on my Facebook. Yeah, it's on my Facebook. So you didn't give no real big secret away. Although Kathy now, she'll be blackmailing me now. Oh, I know your secret now. Oh. You want to hear something interesting, Sherry? There is a possibility that Kathy and I were in the same meat store or the same bakery at the same time. When she was living here, because I used to go, well, when I was driving for limousine service, I used to drive for a funeral home out on Broadway. Well, there's a Hungarian meat store on Broadway, and there's a wonderful bakery. And her and I could have been side by side in the same store and never knew it. And then she shows up on this little tiny, and the reason she did was right here, seeing the Ohio license plate, because she used to live here. I'm doing all right. I now get this, Sherry. Pain management now requires me to see a shrink. Mandatory. I met with him last week. I actually like the guy. But it's mandatory now. I don't see the correlation. All right, you're in pain management. Why do you have to go see a shrink? Yeah, that's a new ruling that came down from pain management, from the head of pain management. Mandatory. I'm not paying for it. It don't bother me, and I actually like the guy. But yeah. Whatever. Don't bother me. And he's out at Parma because I try to keep all my doctors together. So I go to Metro Parma. It's 15 minutes from the house. You know, straight up 130 at the snow, hang a left, go a quarter mile, hang a right. My pain management doctor is at 150th and I-71. All the rest of them, except for my ENT. My ENT doctor is out at Davy Crockett Park. I only have to go see him once a year because I hate going out there. People drive like maniacs. Christ, you get off at Crocker and it's like Suicide Alley out there. See, my original my original primary care, he was at Deaconess. Well, he moved from Deaconess to Brecksville. I refused to go out to Brecksville. So I got a new pain management doctor at Parma. So my eye care is at Parma. My oncologist is at Parma. My primary care is at Parma. My shrink's at Parma. And all the other doctors I have to see are out at Parma. I refuse to go to the Maine. Metro Maine, oh, no way. Not to mention the goddamn parking fees are Jesus. That's another reason for Parma. Free parking. Oh. So, you know, he used to be on Center Ridge in Rocky River. And then they moved him out to fucking Davy Crockett Park. And it's ridiculous. Now, at least it's free parking, too, but I hate going out there. Although, I'll tell you what. He was the doctor that found my cancer. Had it not been for him, I'd have probably been patted in the face with a shovel by now. Well, see, you were with the hospital when I went out on disability. What they wanted for hospitalization for me to continue my coverage was astronomical. And being on disability, I got a deal with Parma, with Metro. And I've been with Metro 12 years now. And I'll tell you what, I love all my doctors. They're all wonderful. They really are. I wouldn't go back to the clinic. There'd be no way. I've got everything all worked out now. 90% of my doctors are out at Parma. It's 15 minutes. You know, I live right 130th and I-71. So I go straight up to 130th to Snow, hang a left, quarter mile down, hang a right, there I am. Oh, I thought you were still... Why did you end up with the clinic? Because your doctors were originally all clinic? If anything, it made sense because all your records were right there. Well, I drive right past your street. I know right where Curtin is. I know exactly where it's at. Yeah, I go right past your street. I'll blow the siren next time I go past the street. Well, Sherry, my ENT saved mine. If anything, he saved my voice. Because I had the tumor on my larynx, and he told me another month and he would have had to do a laryngectomy because that tumor would have expanded. Yeah, that's right, Kathy. Yeah. Give her a little of the air horn. Which end? Close to 130th or the other way? Oh, yeah. You know, I was having problems swallowing. I couldn't take my fucking pills in the morning. They were gagging me. I went to him. He took one look down my throat and he said, I need you in surgery ASAP. Now, my appointment was like a Thursday afternoon. The following Monday, I was in surgery. And originally, it was supposed to be a biopsy. And when he saw how close it was, he told all the nurses, he goes, and the anesthesiologist, keep him under. I'm going to remove it. I'm getting it all. And when I come out of recovery, I was as hoarse as could be. And he come in, he goes, no talking for a week. Really? Oh. He said, no talking. At the end of a week, I had to go out to his office. He looked down my throat and he goes, all right, but keep the talking to a minimum. And then after it healed, so then he told me, he said literally, that tumor was the width of a piece of paper from my vocal cords. And had I waited another month, I'd have been talking with one of them, hello, how are you? My name is Grumpy Old Man. Yeah, that's what I've been using. Oh, I'll tell you what, I worship that guy. And then that's how they did, he sent the tumor to pathology and they went, it's malignant. So then I saw an oncologist a week later, and I had to do the old MRI with contrast, which, I hate. And I ended up, I have fucking tumors on almost every goddamn internal organ. And man, did they hit me with some heavy chemo. Like I say, I had 2 pumps. Bags everywhere, of every color. And one in each hand, with a 20 gauge. Although I drove myself, I drive out to for my treatment, drive home, no big deal. Except for the day after. I was getting to the point I was going to mount my tablet to the toilet lid so that I could watch YouTube while I barf my guts up. Chemo is good for weight loss. I lost 110 pounds. Although I've gained it back, I wish I could lose about 25 though. Oh, yeah. I had to go buy new clothes. Mainly slacks. I went from a 40 waist to a 32. Although I only bought 2 pair of jeans in each size as I needed them until I leveled off. And I went to my favorite place, Work Smart. You ever go in there, Sherry? You ever go into Work Smart right at 117th and Lorraine? Their big thing is mainly like scrubs, but they carry all kinds of other clothing. But oh, I love that place. It's sad. I miss Nick passed away several years ago. Tell you a little story about Work Smart. Originally, they were at 119th and Lorraine on the corner. That was Nick's first store. The first day he opened, not one customer. I happened to be driving down Lorraine and I spotted this and I was like, oh, I'm going to go in and nose around. So I went in the second day he was open and I bought a couple pair of jeans, some shirts. I was his first customer. And every time I went in, now I think they're coming up on 50 years. Every single time I went in the store, Nick would call all the girls, which most of them have been with him forever. They'd be like, hey, come here. He was my first customer. After a while, they'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ, Nick, we hear this story every time he walks in the store. But yeah, he made sure to tell all of his girls, hey, he was my first customer. 40 years later, he was still telling the same story. Uh-oh. I hear thunder. It's going to rain. But, oh, I love that store. That's the only place I buy clothes. Right there. For the prices. I'll tell you, I have Wrangler jeans. The same jean. Now, I bought the Wranglers at Nick's. $13.95 a pair. I bought 2 pair. The same identical jeans at Target. $60. Now, Nick gets what they call the seconds. Like on my jeans, down the zipper, they double stitched. And the stitching is kind of, Well, they can't sell them. It's number one brand, So they throw them aside. And then guys like Nick go in and, they buy them. I could care less if the goddamn stitching isn't perfect. They're fucking blue jeans. Yeah, Target. Oh, go in there sometime. Although, take a defibrillator with you, because when you see the prices on clothing, you'll need to start your heart again. Yeah, $59.95 for the same fucking jeans. Because I was wearing them when I went in. And I'm looking at them going, Jesus Christ. I could have bought 4 pair at Nick's for $60. Oh, I don't go to Target. Well, I am too. Right, Kathy? How many times have I said, I'm cheap? And I am. When I need clothes, I go to Work Smart. It's the only place I've been going for almost 50 years. Matter of fact, I got to go in sometime maybe next week. Because I want some long sleeve t-shirts. And I'll find out how many years. It's got to be at least 48. And I go to Work Smart because I'm cheap. But you're getting the authentic thing. They're Wranglers. And he carries, like the work clothes. Carhartt, Red Cap. And it's all because the stitching might not be perfect on a sleeve or something. So, why should I go to Target and pay like $25 for a shirt when I could go to Work Smart and get one for $8.50? Not to mention, I don't need dress clothes. Blue jeans, work shirts, work for me. Yes, they do. To this day, they handwrite receipts. Yes, they do. Now they'll take a credit card, and you get the credit card, but they also write out a paper receipt. It's never changed since he opened. It's the only place you go where they still handwrite a fucking receipt. Yeah. It's hilarious. But that's the way Nick had his bookkeeping set up. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yep, you open your bag and there's a handwritten receipt. 48 years later, still writing out them receipts. That's unheard of today. Who writes out a receipt today? Nobody. Everything is fucking computerized, except for WorkSmart. Oh, God, that broke my heart. I was afraid he wasn't going to reopen. Yeah, when that store, oh, God, he lost. I'm trying to think what the hell, because everything that was in the store and then in the basement all got ruined. He lost like $300,000 worth of merchandise. And I was afraid he was done. And then one day I saw a sign in the window, "Will reopen in such and such time." And I'll tell you what, the new store is beautiful. I love the new store. Although I miss that old wood floor. Oh, you actually saw it on fire? Oh, holy shit. Yeah, I saw it on the news. By the time it was on the news, all the fire was out, but I was afraid he was not going to reopen. And boy, it did my heart good. Because as soon as he reopened, I went in. I said, "God, Nick, you had me worried." And he said, "Oh, there was no way. No way he would close that store." Because that store is a big moneymaker for him. He does a lot of commercial. Because he told me there's a lot of nursing homes that order scrubs from him. He has a big nursing home and rehab business. Because, like he said, they don't care if the stitching's a little goofy. Yeah, he said he had to reopen. Because most of the nursing homes, Cleveland, Rocky River, Westlake, Fairview, they all buy scrubs from him. So it did my heart good to see that store open again. Oh, God. I was so happy. I was like, "God, where am I going to buy clothes? I ain't going to no Goodwill. No, thank you." Yeah, that store's like a landmark. Well, you figure. It's got to be at least 48 years. At least. If not 50 already. And that is rare. How many stores do you see that have been in business 50 years? Especially a small store. Well, he does have three. He's got one out in Willoughby or Willowick or something. I can't remember where the third one is, but he's got this one, and then the other two are on the east side somewhere. But he told me this one does the most business. That was another reason he made sure he was going to reopen. Yeah, the damn fire started in an electric outlet back in the corner of the store. Bad wiring. And by the time, anybody saw it, it was well involved. But that's my clothing store. Everything I wear, work smart. Well, except for the new T-shirts I bought from Temu. All the insulting ones. Like, it's Mr. Asshole to you. And then the one that I got the other day, I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet. I'm going to wear them to my shrink's office. I'm trying to think which one to wear. Either I'm the nicest asshole you're ever going to meet, or it's Mr. Asshole to you. Figure I'll give him something to talk about. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Who was it, Kathy, that give me hell for saying I was cheap? Somebody give me hell. They go, ugh, you're not cheap. You're frugal or conservative or some shit. I said, no, I'm cheap. So join the club, Sherry. You and I together. We're both cheap. But I didn't know that you. I don't know why I thought you lived in Lakewood. I thought you lived up the street from the hospital. I don't know why I got that idea. Because I know the hospital owns some houses and they would rent them out. I always thought you lived up the street from the hospital. Hell, you're almost my neighbor. And Kathy and I were shoppers in the same meat store and same bakery, and yeah, you're right, Kat. It was Nomad. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Nomad said, oh, not that term. Yeah, I am cheap. See, Sherry, you talk about small world. I'm I'm standing in a Hungarian meat store on Broadway, and who could possibly be standing next to me but Kathy? And then she shows up on my little tiny YouTube channel. It still amazes me that to think there was a possibility either at the bakery or at Kaiser Meats, we could have been standing side by side and not know who the hell. Although Kathy was probably saying there, oh God, I can't wait till this asshole leaves the store. Jesus Christ. When did you leave Ohio, Kathy? What year? For a minute there, I thought I had the wrong. I've done that already. Lit the filter. What a waste of a good cigarette. I hope Jenny's feeling all right. Sounds like she's been going through some hell lately. See, that's one thing, Sherry, you'll find out. We're all like family here. We worry about each other. If we haven't seen somebody in a while, we try to contact them. Like I say, it's like we're all sitting around the kitchen table with a cup of coffee. Except my cup is empty. That's all right. I have more. I love my Keurig machine. One nice hot cup at a time. Yeah, I was kind of hoping Jenny would pop in and just say hi. That's okay. She was here. We understand why she won't be here tonight. But I got to try to get a hold of Wyatt. Wyatt ain't been around for a week now. That's starting to concern me. Because there got to be a reason he's got that fucking lingering headache. And Mears, he ain't been around for a couple of weeks. Mears is our Australian buddy. Nomad's in England. Mears is down under in Australia. And Kathy and Jenny are Southerners. God, I keep hitting this microphone. And Sherry and I are neighbors. One nice, neat little group. And I'm still at 86 subscribers, damn it. I'd like to at least hit 90. Because I've been at 86 for a month now. I was at 87, and somebody bailed and went, "Look, enough of him. I'm done." Oh, Sherry, you'll love this. I got to argue with the post office tomorrow. I have a background coming. Because these are screen prints. The background arrived at the Main downtown on Friday. Next stop would have been my post office up by the rapid station, because I'm in 44111. I look at the tracking this morning. You know where my package is? Fostoria, Ohio. Why it went from downtown to Fostoria makes no sense, but that's where it's sitting. It went from the Main downtown on Orange Avenue. Instead of going to 143rd and Lorraine, it went to Fostoria, Ohio. And I printed it out. And I'm going to go up tomorrow and find out why. Arrived at the Maine April 28th. April 29th, it's in Fostoria. It makes no fucking sense. It should have been here today, technically. No, it's sitting in Fostoria. So me and the postmaster are going to have a little discussion tomorrow. Although, like you say, it's out of my hands. I can't do nothing. I would just like to know, how did it end up going to Fostoria when it should have been here by now? Although that one was number 3, so I wouldn't have put it up. Because you have to go in order, 1, 2, and 3, for the shock value. Because those backgrounds are one-time use, and then the shock value and the comedy is gone. No, Fostoria is out around Bowling Green. It's right out around by Bowling Green State University in Ohio. Out around Findlay and that area. But how the hell it went from downtown Cleveland, instead of going to my post office out there, when the address says 44111. So much for their goddamn computer mail sorting service. The zip code ain't even close. 44830. It ain't even fucking close to 44111. Like I say, even if I would have got it, I wouldn't have put it up because they have to go in order to make sense. Well, not to make sense, but I've got certain reasons. Like the first one, mainly. I've got a little story for that one. The second one, but the third one is the best one. But like I say, they're one-time use. If I have them up 3-4 days in a row, not saying that I couldn't, but when you see it the first time, it's the shock value. And then the next day it's like, you had that one yesterday. Not to mention, they were $2 and $3, so even if I only use them once, okay, I didn't spend that much. Oh, I didn't show you. I got a sticker for my truck. I'm a certified YouTube mechanic. And then, high performance blinker fluid. Like the old joke, gee, your turn signal ain't working. You must be out of blinker fluid. I couldn't pass that one up. It was only at 20 cents. High performance blinker fluid. And these were 2 for 50 cents. Certified YouTube mechanic. I'm going to mount them. I have some sheets of for magnetic signs. I'm going to stick them on the magnets. That way I can take them off. Let me show you these. I couldn't pass up these greeting cards. Of course I sleep a lot. It's exhausting keeping you awake all night. And then a Christmas card. Thank goodness you're home. The Christmas tree fainted. Typical cat, knocking a Christmas tree over. And then I got to send this to my friend. Thank you for your order. The Crazy Cat Lady Starter Kit. Your order has been shipped. I couldn't pass them up. They were only like 50 cents a card. Luckily, I have friends that are cat owners that will appreciate the cards. It's amazing. You can get a shitload of greeting cards off of Temu for cheap. Put my decals back. Oops. Oh, I don't want that to fall in. Hang on. I'm losing something here. Oh my God, can't things stand up like they're supposed to? Why the hell don't that want to stand up? There we go. Now, I'm knocking everything down. I got more shit. He's still in the hospital? Oh my word. I thought he'd be home by now. How's he doing? He probably don't know who the hell I am, but tell him I said hi. Really? Oh my God. I'm sorry to hear that, sweetheart. Wow. Oh my God, I am. I'm sorry to hear that. Boy, that's got to be a real strain on you. Well, yeah, for Christ's sake. God, you get tired of the goddamn hospital. Oh, that procedure sounds painful. Oh, my God. Oh, oh, God. Well, tell them the crazy bunch of people on YouTube will be thinking about them and keeping them there in our prayers here. Tell him he's got a bunch of concerned strangers. Because he won't know who the hell I am. Does he have a laptop, Sherry? You could always tell him to tune in at 7 p.m. and see the crazy idiot from Lakewood Hospital. Oh, yeah. You know, I've seen that procedure done in the emergency room when they have to reinflate a lung. Oh, God, people scream, yell. And they say it's bad coming out as going in. Yeah, tell him he's got a bunch of concerned people thinking about him, Sherry. Yeah, you could. Too bad you don't have a laptop or a tablet. You could tell them just go on YouTube, WDWL space TV. Yeah, I got to tell everybody there's a space between L and T to find me on YouTube. So you put in WDWL space TV. Well, he could go to YouTube on his cell phone and then put in WDWL space TV. 7 p.m. 7 days a week. That's the nice thing about cell phones today. You can watch TV, you can, I still have my original first cell phone, the Motorola Brick. That was the first cell phone. And believe me, it weighs about as much as a brick. I paid $1,200 for this thing. And believe me, the coverage sucked because there were hardly any cell phone towers and no texting. The screen is so tiny you could barely see the numbers. I tell kids today, no texting, no social media. You made a call, you received a call. And the cell phone plan was $150 a month, and it gave you 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Anything over 30 minutes was $1 a minute. Cell phones weren't cheap. Yeah, $1,200 for the Motorola Brick. I've hung on to it all these years. It's actually a bookend on my desk. If you go in the search bar on YouTube and put in WDWL space TV, you should find me on YouTube. I can find me on YouTube. Because if you don't put the space in, you won't get me. That's why I tell everybody, make sure you put the space in between the L and the T. Your mom had a Motorola Brick? Well, I'll tell you what, back in the day, you were big shit if you had a cell phone. Because nobody had them. And it's sad because people threw them away. I keep it because, first of all, it's a relic. But to show kids today what we had as a cell phone. No cameras, no streaming videos, none of that shit. You made a call, you received a call. That was it. If the call would go through. A lot of times the goddamn calls wouldn't go through because there were so few towers. I had one just because I wanted one. And now look what we've got for cell phones. But kids nowadays don't realize, they think that these smartphones have been around forever. No. We had the brick, and then after the brick was the fold-up. And the folding phone was huge too. The flip phone, the first original flip phone, which wasn't really truly a flip phone. It was just the bottom section folded out. Then you'd talk on it. And then you'd fold it back up. Oh, pagers? Oh, God. I still have... Where the hell is it? I had it here on my desk for the longest time. What did I do with it? Oh, it's not there. Yeah, I still got my pager. Although they still use them in hospitals. So pagers never really went out of style. It's just not everyday people carry them like we did back in the day. Yeah, I still have my Motorola pager. It's about that big, about the size of a Zippo lighter. The ones they carry in the hospital got screens on them and messages and that. But yeah, I got my Motorola brick. I got my beeper. I think I still have my little. At one time, Nokia made a little cell phone that was about that big. It was a dynamite little phone. You could throw it in your pocket. Sherry, I've had every fucking cell phone imaginable. Every time a new one would come out, I drove my cell phone agent crazy. Oh, I gotta have that one. I had that little Motorola StarTAC. That little tiny itty bitty fold up cell phone. Oh, I've had. Most of them got lost over the years in moving and that. But yeah. Good old beepers. And you could send numbers and then turn it upside down and it would spell out words. That was the cool thing with the pagers. You punch in the numbers, turn them upside down. If you wanted somebody in a hurry, you put in 911 for call me right away. Yeah, back in the good old days. Like I say, kids today they don't know what they're missing. They think smartphones have been around forever. They don't realize what we started with. So every now and then I take my Motorola brick out and I show them. They look at it like, really? Yeah, it's a phone. A dumb phone. You have the Motorola smartphone and the Motorola dumb phone. Motorola smartphone with a picture of my buddy when he was a kitten. That's my buddy. See if I get something that shows him a little better. Yeah, that little cute itty bitty thing is now 22 pounds. My tuxedo cat. That's my buddy. Who's texting me now? Somebody's sending me a text message. Hang on, see if it's important. Oh, okay. What? Oh, okay. Delete. Oh, Jesus, yeah. Back in the day, payphones. It's sad. Cell phones did away with all the phone booths and the payphones and but you know what's interesting? Over in London, they still have the big red phone booths with payphones. They still have payphones over in London. Here, no more. I wish I could have got a phone booth. I would have loved to have had a phone booth from AT&T. But they crushed them all. They wouldn't let you have them. They wouldn't sell them. Although, in my kitchen, I still have a touch-tone wall phone. It's still hanging on the wall in my kitchen. It's not hooked up to anything, but yeah, I have a touch-tone wall phone hanging in my kitchen. Left over from the previous owner. Speaking of kitchen, I think it's time for me to hit the kitchen. Dinner time. Time for the outro, peoples. Time for the outro. And Sherry, let your husband know we're thinking about him. All of us crazy people on this channel. We know where, right here, WDWL TV, 7 p.m. And with that, everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thanks for joining me again. And we will meet again tomorrow night.